Hello and welcome to Potterwatch from Page to Screen, episode 24. I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Lucy.
Last time we suffered through a detention with Gilderoy and got away with mud trampling. I don't know, I thought that was funny. And I don't think it actually is.
Well, today we'll be going to Nearly Headless Nick's Death Day party and discovering some writing on the wall. Very superstitious. But first,
Writing on the wall.
Let's have a look in the sorting hat. I'll be doing Harry Potter question and Elizabeth's will be completely random.
Okay, so I guess I'm going first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you could only wear one outfit for the rest of time, what would you wear and why?
Okay. Do you mean literally at all times except from washing, I have to be wearing this outfit?
Yeah. So like
Okay.
in the
Including
the
sleeping.
daytime,
Okay.
no, you can wear pajamas. It's like from when you wake up and change your clothes normally to when you normally go to sleep.
Yeah.
And then if it's cold or too hot, you can put,
Have a jacket that
let's
goes
say,
on or off.
yeah, let's say
Okay,
that you
okay.
can choose one jacket that goes
Right.
on or off.
Okay.
I have no idea. I'm like just scanning through my clothes.
Does it have to be something I already own?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say yes.
Okay.
But you
Okay.
could, if you have like a hypothetical, like, oh, if I could choose anything,
Ball gap.
you could, yeah, you could,
Okay.
you could choose that as well.
Okay. I think
We could do one each.
okay. I think I would go like high-waisted, straight leg, like pretty dark blue jeans, black t-shirt, Doc Martens, and I don't know what, I'm not a jacket person, but I guess like
Well, if it's cold,
just some kind of jacket. I
do
don't
you
know.
not own a single coat or jacket?
Oh, okay.
Or
I
a
was thinking
jumper?
more jacket than coat. Well, I think I would rather. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, and then like big comfy hoodie
Okay,
for when it's cold. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And
Nice.
and some nice funky socks.
I think I would go with my green and blue plaid shirt. The one that I think I've told you about it before that really makes me look like a stereotypical lesbian.
Yeah.
I don't want to be homophobic, but like this, if you were going with
I
a
mean,
stereotype,
that's
it really goes with the stereotype.
that is.
Yeah. That's like my favorite shirt of all time. And I can roll it up as well in the summer, so I feel like it's
yeah.
versatile.
Oh, that's true.
As you say, like dark.
I do love a flannel
Yeah.
jacket.
I'm really loving like shirts at the moment. Like I've got a corduroy one, and I was gonna pick that one, but I was like, no, that's gonna be murder in the summer.
Do you have to wear the items of clothing the same way every day?
No, but you can't add on. So if you pick a t-shirt and a plaid shirt, you could wear it
Right.
over the t-shirt or tie it around your waist
Right, or button
whatever.
it up, or
Yeah.
I think.
So,
I
but
think
if
I'm
you
just gonna stick
only,
with
if so,
black
like me,
t-shirt and jeans.
yeah,
It's kind
yeah.
of boring.
No, but it's like appropriate for most situations.
Although I don't know, I feel like maybe I should have some like smart trousers, like kind of black
But I feel
suit
like dark blue,
trousers.
like I was gonna do like dark blue. I've got, I mean, I've got them on right now. Like Lucy and Yak, skinny dark blue jeans that are high-waisted that I feel like are smart enough that I
Right,
can
that's
get
what I
away
mean. I feel
with
like
being in
jeans.
most things.
Well, but also, I feel like I'm often more of a jeans and a nice top than a dress kind of gal. So, if I went for like more of a fitted black t-shirt, I feel like that's
Yeah.
very in the middle of casual and slightly, you know.
Yeah,
So,
and I would say like you can accessorize up or down with
okay,
like jewelry
cool.
or like
Yeah,
a belt or something.
nice.
That
All
would
right.
be allowed, I think. So like if I went into a job interview with my
Right.
little lesbian shirt and trousers.
Oh, that's true. I'd have to be like,
I would
apply
put
for
like
jobs that don't require uniform.
yeah, or I'd be like, I would wear a necklace with it or something.
Right.
Yeah, and then my jacket of choice would be my, I don't want to sound super posh, but my what brand is it? There's this like really posh coat brand and I can't remember what it's called. But I got it for half price on eBay.
Nice.
Jules. I've got a yellow
Okay.
Jules raincoat, which is like the very stereotypical
like classic. Oh,
rain
that's
jacket.
true. I'm not waterproof.
Yeah. Do you want to change it?
That's true. Nah, I'll stick with my hoodie.
Okay.
I don't
You
mind.
carry it. You
Rain.
can get an umbrella.
Yeah, exactly.
What would you do like for fantasy? Like or like a not necessarily fantasy clothes,
But like whatever. Well, I was just thinking of I'd probably stick with jeans and then just get a slightly more, because I wear a lot of like baggy t-shirts. Mm-hmm. So I'd have something like a little bit more dressy that's still not like and that you could put a hoodie over and it would look completely casual. Do you know what I mean? Like something a little bit more kind of that I
I
like,
mean,
could
it's
wear
always
to
a
a
shock
wedding.
for me seeing you in the summer because you don't wear your baggy t-shirts and I'm like, who are you?
Yeah. So yeah, jeans and a t-shirt. Pretty basic.
Yeah,
but...
I think I would stick with mine even if I could pick anything. My shirt. If I could wear that shirt all day, every day for the rest of my life, I think I would. So like every time it's one of those pieces of clothing that when it's out of the dryer, I'm like, I'm gonna wear you the next day, and I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, there we go.
All right.
I could I would be really tempted to be like, and my jacket of choice is a wizard's robe. So I can cosplay when I want to.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh, no more costume parties. I love costume parties. Maybe I should just, if it was whatever I wanted, I'd
could go as like
have a really
zombie.
good costume and just wear that costume for the rest of my life, so that when there is a costume party, I'll be prepared.
Always prepared.
Because I love a costume party.
Me too. I love like when seasonal festivities require some kind of specific dress code, like Christmas jumpers, Halloween.
Especially when it's slightly humiliating. Like ugly Christmas jumpers and like when it's a bit like, oh, I've got to go like dressed as a pirate. That's a bit awkward.
Yeah.
Not for me because I love it, but I love seeing people being like, oh yeah, here I am dressed as a zombie. I'm like, I love it.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah. Me too. It's very freeing.
It just makes me feel like a little kid. It's great.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
Lay on your Harry Potter question.
My question. I just thought of this now when we were talking about the illustrated editions.
Oh yeah.
It's I mean it's a bit boring, but my question is, if you could only have one of the 7 Harry Potter books illustrated by Jim Kay, and let's say in this situation your memory is wiped of the first 4, like they don't exist. If you could only have one Harry Potter Jim Kay illustrated edition exist, what book would you choose?
Oh my word, Lucy, that's a big question. Let's think. What cool things happen in each book?
And also characters. I feel like that's an important one.
Yes,
like what
that's
characters
true.
would be drawn? I'll say mine because I immediately know.
Okay.
I would pick the 5th one.
Yeah, I'm like the 5th one probably.
Mainly just for the Department
Ministry
of Mysteries.
Magic scenes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And because for the first St. Mungo's, I love St. Mungo's, and that's just completely missed out from the film. So there's no kind of like official depiction of it, and it's maybe my favourite bit of Harry Potter.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like that would be my choice purely because it's the longest book and the shortest film.
True.
They miss out so much. And
Yeah.
I mean, if he were to only do one, that would give him enough time to do like a massive, like,
Yeah.
loads of illustrations.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it's probably taking him so long because it's such a big
Yeah.
book, and it's
Oh, yeah,
like
that's true. That's
he
the
probably
next one.
can't do, yeah,
Everything.
he probably can't do as like more
As
illustrations
many.
than he's done. So it's probably really hard for him to choose.
Yeah.
Like,
I
I can't imagine
really,
how hard it must be for him to
yeah,
be like, but I
that's a
like
big
this one, but I like
task.
that one.
I just
Yeah.
really want to see his illustration of the brain room.
Yes. Yes.
Like, really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
I can't
Same.
wait.
I've thought about illustrating it for a while, and I'm like, no, I think I would ruin it for myself.
Well, this is the thing, it does worry me a little bit, and part of me is always glad that St. Mungo's is, I think, by far my favourite bit of the books. And I'm kind of glad they didn't do it in the films, so that my own version of it, from reading it, is still just completely pure, I guess. Like how some of the characters and some of the, sets and locations and stuff now are slightly skewed by how the films did it. That little chunk of the book is just completely untouched in my mind.
Although I think I agree with you there, yeah. But I think like Jim Kay's illustrations haven't really stuck in my mind so much unless I really like them.
Right.
If I
They're
really
just
don't
beautiful
like
to
them,
look at.
yeah. If I really don't like them, I just kind of purge
Forget them.
from
Yeah.
existence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Or I guess 7.
It's not that
Although
much
I'm not sure
Hogwarts
what
stuff
he
in
would
7.
do, yeah, with that. But I just really want the final fight.
Yeah,
That would be
that's
cool. And
true.
like seeing all of the ghost characters around Harry. Spoilers.
Oh, yeah.
Um, yeah. But I think I'm gonna stick with 5
Yeah. Or
as
possibly
well.
3. Just because I also love that. But I think 5, there's most things that there are specific moments that I would like to see illustrated by him.
Yeah, I want to see like what he does with Harry smashing the things in Dumbledore's office. That's surely got to be one that he's illustrated, like
I hope so.
with all of the pieces flying everywhere.
Oh, I really hope that if eventually he gets to the later books, he does when Lupin and Harry like have that big argument in the last one.
Yes.
Where he comes and is
my
like, I want to come with you guys, and he's like, oh, you're going to abandon your kid, like that's not what my dad would have wanted, and he's like, how dare you?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that bit.
Yeah, and I love his Lupin. His Lupin is amazing.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see more of that.
Yeah.
Although when he does different expressions, they're almost, this is going to sound weird, they're almost too expressive to the point that I don't actually like the illustration anymore. Like, if somebody's making like a disgusted or angry face, he does it almost too realistically.
Right.
And then it's like, I don't like that as an illustration. So, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, that was a really good question.
Thanks. It was very off the cuff. So
yeah.
You're welcome.
For the sun, the sea, and the sky. Anyway. I quite enjoy it when I say something that I think is really hilarious, and then you do not do anything. Like your face does not change at all.
Oh, we kind of almost coughed in unison. Okay, well.
Over to you, Lucy.
Yeah, moving on. So, as I think we mentioned briefly last time, we go to Nearly Headless Nick's Death Day party, which is not in the film whatsoever. So we're just gonna have a little Yeah, anyway.
Soiree.
Jeez. Yeah, let's talk about that.
I feel like that's like a good mythical morning moment. The Death Day party isn't in the film. Let's talk about that.
Were you doing the Hogwarts March?
No, I was doing the good mythical morning.
It sounded a lot like do 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 do.
Oh my god!
Okay.
I've killed Harry Potter. Anyway, sorry.
My boy. Okay.
No, I shouldn't laugh at that.
No. Yeah. Okay. So Harry regrets agreeing to go to the Death Day party because the Halloween feast looks pretty top notch, if I do say so myself.
Yeah.
And I did just want to mention the set dressing, just in general for the Great Hall throughout the series, but particularly for Halloween, is incredible. Like, it's always just insane. Yeah, that's.
I agree.
That's that on that.
Yeah, enough said. Yeah, it's just great.
It's really cool. I think. Hang on, did I go for Halloween? Have I been for Halloween? Did we go for? I think I've been for Halloween.
We've been for Halloween together, but I think that was your first one.
No, first time I went was Christmas. Maybe I haven't been, but I've definitely seen pictures. My cousins definitely went for Halloween, but the studio tour. No.
Wait, I swear we have, because we were looking at the different pumpkin faces and like laughing at the different faces.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, the studio tour at Halloween is super cool, and they have all the tables dressed, and it's amazing, and it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And
I would argue that the set dresses for Harry Potter are among the most talented set dresses of all time.
Yeah, it's
just straight up.
It's pretty incredible. All the
I don't know where they got their people from. But they did well.
Who are these people? Yeah, all the cereal as well. The cheery owls, amazing.
Yes,
hilarious.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think that's great, and I don't what's the word? I don't blame Harry for wanting to stay up at the Great Hall rather than coming down. I find
reading this bit a bit difficult, because I'm like, you should have just go to the feast.
Or just
it's going to be
say
horrible,
you'll be a
Harry.
bit late. Just have some food, and then, like, although I guess you can't really just leave the Great Hall in the middle of the feast. Like,
no,
it's a bit attention
bit dodgy.
Anyway, yeah. So, although some redeeming qualities, the passageway down to the party is super cool. So it says that the candles were long, thin, jet black tapers, all burning bright blue, casting a dim, ghostly light even over their own living faces. The temperature dropped with every step they took. As Harry shivered and drew his robes tightly around him, he heard what sounded like 1,000 fingernails scraping an enormous blackboard. Is that supposed to be music? Ron whispered. Yeah, it's pretty.
It gave me a shiver just reading it.
Yeah, very. I keep forgetting words today. Very atmospheric. Yeah, good theming on Nick's part.
Yes.
good set dressing.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it reminds me of I mean, not really, but just the cool entranceway reminds me of the entrance to Slughorn's party in the 6th film. With all the lanterns and the green.
Yeah, I do love that. Yeah, really cool. I love that bit. That's a bit in the studio tour gift shop, isn't it? Where they have all of the lanterns crowded at the top. So nice.
I'm so excited to see the new gift shop. I'm almost more excited for the new gift shop than I am for the actual, like, new things at the studio tour.
Heck yeah!
I really can't wait. Yeah, so after they've been mournfully welcomed by Nick himself, they step inside and we get a little description of what's going on at the party. It says, "It was an incredible sight. The dungeon was full of hundreds of pearly white translucent people, mostly drifting around a crowded dance floor, waltzing to the dreadful quavering sound of 30 musical saws played by an orchestra on a black draped platform. A chandelier overhead blazed midnight blue with 1,000 more black candles. Their breath rose in a mist before them. It was like stepping into a freezer. I do want to highlight the fact that it repeatedly described how absolutely freezing it was. And I was wondering when I was reading through why that is, whether it's because of like all the ghosts together creating like an energy of coldness, like you know when you walk through them you get that like horrible feeling.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Or I have a few theories. I'm gonna run them by you. Or do they like enjoy that temperature? Is it like more relaxing to them? Like how,
or
I mean, we'll get
they
to the
feel
food.
it more because it's
Yeah,
more,
exactly.
like,
It's
intense.
like warmth to them because it's so. Or is it just because they're in a really remote area of the castle and no one's bothered to heat it because they're ghosts and they can't feel it anyway? As I was running through this,
it really annoys me that it doesn't like tell you, like she doesn't say where this is.
Right.
I don't know why, but that just annoys me.
Yeah. In my mind,
I always imagined it in the dungeons. But...
Yeah, or not in the dungeons, but kind of like down at the similar level to like where the kitchens are and like the Hufflepuff common room, like just like one level down. But I feel like the most logical explanation for the cold is just like they don't need to like light a fire because they're ghosts.
I think it's a combination of they don't need it
and just the energy.
Excuse me, and because as you say, like it's always written that when they go through when you walk through a ghost, it's very cold.
Does it stay cold?
So yeah.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense.
I think I remember it saying that Harry felt a chill go through him.
Right, like he's it's something about like being plunged into an icy lake or something at some point.
Yes,
I think.
Yes,
that sounds familiar.
Yeah, and you know how like when a bunch of people are in a room together,
it gets warm.
The room gets warmer.
Oh,
maybe it's the opposite.
Yeah, no, I like that. Yeah, that sounds good.
It would make sense that a bunch of cold people would have the same effect. Well, the opposite effect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good question. And my question is, how did they fit 1,000 more black candles in the room? like that is a lot of candles, J.K. Rowling.
Also,
do you want to calm down there and just say 100 more black candles? That sounds more appropriate.
I wonder if the candles like are not warm. I don't know, because it says blue light, and like surely it would be a little bit warm.
The hottest.
Yeah. I mean,
but maybe it's
blue flames normally are the hottest. Yeah, that's not what you just said. That they are the hottest, but
yeah.
I suppose if it's ghost flame, I don't know. And also, who got all that stuff there? It's like the letter thing again. Who put this together for them?
Yeah,
like was he just getting the house elves? Yeah, was McGonagall? Yeah.
That is a very good question. I think it's probably the house elves.
Yeah, but then do ghosts have any authority over house elves?
Surely.
Or do they just? Maybe they just. I guess they kind of just enjoy. Helping.
Everyone has authority over us.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I suppose when Fred and George just go into the kitchen, and also when like Harry goes in later, they just start like swarming everyone and just giving people food.
Like I imagine house elves, and I don't want to like be derogatory or anything, but I imagine that the way the house elves need to be ordered around, this kind of same need that dogs have, like in a pack. You know, there's like the alpha dog, and the rest of the dogs like have this like basic requirement in their genetics
to know what they need to do.
Well, to be told what to do. And this is my dilemma with Spew, with Hermione's House Self-Liberation Front, is like what if, and I don't know, I mean it's clearly wasn't thought out because this is a children's series, but like or a teenage series, I guess, but like what if it is in their genetic DNA and Dobby really is like a very strange exception, and they literally need to be ordered around, otherwise they just spiral into depression or anxiety or
Right.
another mental health condition, you know. Anyway.
It's that, I guess, it's like that debate amongst like wizards and Hermione, I suppose, of whether it's like nature or nurture, if it's like truly is in their nature, I guess, or if it's just because they've been not brought up as if they've been like raised by Dumbledore, but like that they've just been kind of conditioned, I suppose, to only seek enjoyment from like serving people.
Yeah, and I think this is the good thing about Dumbledore's way of doing things, is that there's always an option for them to ask, and he will happily oblige. It's just that the house elves aren't asking. Now, I would argue that you could go a bit further and actively tell them, you can ask for pay if you want to.
Because if they don't know that they can, that's an option. Then they're not gonna go up to the headmaster and be like, "Hey, can I like get a few galleons for feeding all these students every single day of the year?"
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, we all know Dumbledore's. I'm team
a bit special.
Dumbledore hate. Bit of oddball, as they say, or a manipulative murderer of a person. But I mean, tomato.
I'm very on the fence with Dumbledore.
I could not be more.
I just take the stance of he's a good character, but maybe not a good person.
Sure.
He's a great character to read. He's very interesting.
Yes.
And his backstory is insanely amazing.
I actually really enjoy that he's such a like lovable old man, and then you realise that he's like manipulating teenagers into fighting wars. And it's this kind of like
cult leader.
Yeah, basically. Pretty much. I mean, that's basically what's going on, in my opinion. And like Harry looks up to him for all these years. He's almost like a father figure, grandpa figure. Great grandpa figure.
And then he realizes, I'm literally being led to the slaughter.
Yeah, and not even Harry. Like, and then that happens like with the Order, like with Harry's parents and all those people. Anyway, we'll get there. We'll.
How can we get on to
I don't even know. Oh, also on the topic of households, that would make sense as well if it is kind of lowered by the kitchens, because they could just go into the kitchen and be like, "Follow us," and I can imagine all these house elves like running behind all these ghosts, like holding platters of food, running down into the dungeons.
Yeah, although it would have had to have been thought about for a long time, and I'm not gonna say because you're about to say it soon. But they would have had to have known about this party for a long time.
Oh, that's another... Okay, well, let's say that and then we continue pointing out all the plot holes.
Okay.
We'll pick this back up when we get to the food, because we're not even there.
Okay.
So, we also get to hear about a lot of other ghosts in this section. There are gloomy nuns, there's a ragged man wearing chains, and a knight with an arrow sticking out of his forehead.
I want to know, like, I don't know why, but I immediately imagined it like shooting as if like it's got the arrow head pointing outwards. As if like somebody has like shot through his whole entire skull and it's just kind of paused on the way out.
Wow.
But I'm guessing that she means that it's like on its way in to his forehead.
That's what I... Right.
I don't know why. I don't know why I immediately thought that.
The ragged man wearing chains just reminds me of the Marley brothers from The Muppets Christmas Carol. Whoa! Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's all I think when I hear that.
Yeah.
And then we also get the first appearance, and also the first time we hear about Moaning Myrtle. And she's introduced through Hermione. And it says, "Oh no," said Hermione, stopping abruptly. Turn back, I don't want to talk to Moaning Myrtle." "Who?" said Harry, as they backtracked quickly. "She haunts the girls' toilets on the first floor," said Hermione. She wants a toilet. Yes, it's been out of order all year because she keeps having tantrums and flooding the place. I never went in there anyway, if I could avoid it. It's awful trying to go to the loo with her wailing at you. Look, food, said Ron.
Good old Ron.
Yeah.
That just reminds me of a very musical.
Yeah. He's just always eating food.
I have a question.
Shoot.
Or do you have a point about that? Was I interrupting you?
No.
Okay.
That sounds like I wasn't sure. I don't have anything to say.
Okay. She says it's been out of order all year. Surely it's been out of order since she died, because Moaning Myrtle has been Moaning Myrtle since her death. So why just this year? Like, can Moaning Myrtle sense that something is going on?
Yeah, well, that was the only thing I was gonna suggest, was like maybe she is like disturbed because like the cause of her death is like reawakening. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Or
maybe she can like hear it through her toilet pipes.
Maybe, yeah.
In the pipes.
Although at this point, surely it's not. Actually, I say that we're quite far into. Well, no, it's only Halloween. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure of like Ginny's timeline with what's going on here. Oh no, because we're literally about to see the Chamber of Secrets has been opened. Oh no, but that's in the. Although all year, that's only like 2 months. Yeah, I think
when
it's.
Does it say? It says at the beginning of the chapter, doesn't it? October arrived, and Ginny has been looking peaky. Yeah. So it's been about 4 weeks-ish.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just find it odd that it's like, this is one of those things where I'm sure J.K. Rowling was like, well, I'm just going to hope that people just ignore the fact that I didn't mention her in the last book because I need her to be in this book.
I suppose Hermione needs to be aware of her enough to introduce her, but that bathroom needs to be closed because, maybe they know that that's the entrance to the Chamber of Secrets, and that's why they've closed it. And, but then they would only start doing that when people start being petrified and they're like, we need to, sort this out.
Yeah. And I think it's because she's flooding the toilet. Tantrums and flooding the place.
But that could just be what the students have heard. But I think it's just a kind of plot hole.
Just a mistake. Yeah.
Not a mistake, but just like something that she obviously didn't think about until the second book. And was just like, it's Hermione knows. Yeah.
I really like how they do it in the film, actually. When Hermione's like, duh, it's Moaning Myrtle. What, you idiots? Like, everyone knows about Moaning Myrtle.
Yeah.
I like that they just kind of, just do it like that.
They just introduce her, I do prefer her being introduced in the toilets, actually. With that as her kind of, like, place of residence, I guess.
Yeah, although it is nice to see her out and about.
Out in the town.
Yeah.
Having a good time.
It's nice to see you making friends, Myrtle.
Yeah. Alright.
I feel really sorry for Moaning Myrtle that she like, it was just such a poor decision making on her part, because it's like she came back to get back this girl for bullying her.
Yeah.
But she can only do that for like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. And then it's just still...
And now she's got like... Yeah, now she's immortalised herself in her spotty teenage form.
Yeah.
And like Peeves is going on anyway. Yeah. Sorry, I was about to spoil another bit, but yeah, I'm just like, come on, Myrtle, why did you choose that?
Yeah.
I can totally see a student, a teenager who's died saying, yeah, heck yeah, I'm going back. I'm going to bully that girl who bullied me.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, damn it.
Didn't think that through.
No. So mostly at Ron's request, the trio then head over to the food table. But as we almost discussed very early, it's not quite what they're expecting. It says, "Smell was quite disgusting. Large rotten fish were laid on handsome silver platters. Cakes, burnt charcoal black, were heaped on salvers?"
Yeah, I'm not sure
I
what
guess
that
that's just
is, but
plates or
I'm
dishes or
guessing
something.
it's salmon. Yeah.
There was a great maggoty haggis, a slab of cheese covered in furry green mould, and, in pride of place, an enormous grey cake in the shape of a tombstone, with tar-like icing forming the words, "Sir Nicholas de Mimsey Porpington, died 31st of October, 1492. Who made this cake?
That's a good
Who
question.
made the
Sorry,
cake?
I was just looking up salvers. They're like really, really fancy platters. Like
Right, okay,
top of the
cool.
line. Like the first one that came up is like salver, 2,205 pounds.
Okay,
So yeah, uber fancy.
nice. Yeah, okay, that's kind of
There we
why.
go. Yes, who made the
With the
cake?
context of-
House elves.
I guess so.
Yeah, and why? Like, why out of
Mm.
all the things is this the one that is not? Maybe they burnt it actually, because it says that they burnt
It does say tar-like
what's it?
icing.
Cakes burnt charcoal black and tar like icing. So yeah, maybe they burnt it on purpose. Because I was like, why wouldn't they like make the head, like the
main
headstone, the headpiece?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, where
Taste.
would they have taken all the food down to wherever this is and then left it there for months, or has it been somewhere else and then?
They
have
surely
the house
have like
elves
put spells on it to keep the smell out away from everything.
Yeah,
Everyone.
or have the house elves done magic to make it like more quickly rot in like 24 hours? You know, because burnt cakes, they can do that just in the oven, and surely they could like speed up the time in the cake, increase the entropy. I've watched Christopher Nolan films, and make it rot, you know, in a 12-hour period, maybe.
I like that, like specific time travel.
Yeah.
For an object.
Just for
I like that.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the bit in Ministry of Magic in number 5, the baby head guy, like it like
right.
Yeah.
Like grows.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. I don't think anyone else will. But
no.
I don't know how
when he
else
sticks
to
his
describe
head
it.
in the when he sticks his
Yeah,
head
one
in
of
the
the Death
jar by
Eaters puts his head in the jar.
Yeah,
and it like
his head
repeatedly
goes to baby
and
then ages.
Yeah, really rapidly.
Yeah.
So
and house
that
elves like
makes me
have
a little
like
bit more
curiously strong magic. So
yeah,
I really like that. Like that.
That I will accept that more than they've just left it in some area of Hogwarts.
Yeah, for one ghost's death day party.
Yeah, that they're not even eating it anyway.
Oh my gosh!
Hermione,
don't get me started on the food waste.
For context, Hermione explains that they've probably let it rot to give it a stronger flavour because the ghosts just kind of walk through it with their mouths open and like kind of taste of it already.
Yeah, I like the idea. It's a really unique idea that if you if you have the strong enough sensation of something, you can feel it as a ghost.
I mean, it's not quite the same, but like my grandma lost her sense of taste and smell for a while, and she still like ate stuff, but a lot of the stuff that she liked before she didn't like because the texture was just gross, and she didn't have the taste to make it better. But she would often eat satsumas or like super acidic fruit, all like really spicy chili sauce, because even though the flavour wasn't there, that kind of like sensation of a really strong flavour was.
Right.
So I feel like it's kind of similar to that of
mouth tingle.
Right.
That's such a weird thing to think about. Like the taste isn't there. You'd think that it was all in a taste, but I guess hot things, even if you couldn't taste them, would still cause you some amount of discomfort.
So she would
That's
have a
so
lot of
weird.
spicy food or super acidic food because it was, there was something to it rather than just
stimulate something.
eating food for the sake of like health, you know.
Totally. Nice.
I guess that's, yeah. Don't know. It's and surely though, if they're not eating it, they could have one like bowl of rotted food, and they could all just take turns walking through it.
Like cakes, plural. Why? One cake surely is enough. Like rotten fish were laid on handsome silver platters. Why do they need more, like multiple platters of rotten? Just have one rotten fish.
Yeah. Although because I suppose he's trying to show off to the headless hunt. Yeah. So
I guess it's like, you know, when you go to a stately home and they have a super bright room and it's like,
right.
And the historian who's taking you around is like, nobody really sees this room, but they have this bright room just in case somebody questions how much money they have, and they can show it to them to show that they have a lot of money.
Yeah. So then, next up in the order of ghosts they're running into is Peeves, who overhears Hermione talking about Myrtle and kindly calls Myrtle over so they can just sort it out, talk it out girl to girl, you know, get it all out in the open.
Heart, you know?
Exactly. It's very sweet of him.
It's nice.
So, it says, heard you talking about poor Myrtle, said Peeves, his eyes dancing. Rude you was about poor Myrtle. He took a deep breath and bellowed, Oi, Myrtle! Oh no, Peeves, don't tell her what I said. She'll be really upset. Hermione whispered frantically. I didn't mean it. I don't mind her. Hello, Myrtle. The squat ghost of a girl had glided over. She had the glummest face Harry had ever seen, half hidden behind lank hair and thick pearly spectacles. What? She said sulkily. And then it carries on a little bit. Hermione's just trying to convince Myrtle that she wasn't saying anything bad about her. And then it continues a bit further down. Don't lie to me, Myrtle gasped, tears now flooding down her face while Peeves chuckled happily over her shoulder. Do you think I don't know what people call me behind my back? Fat Myrtle, ugly Myrtle, miserable, moaning, moping Myrtle. You've missed out Spotty, Peeves hissed in her ear. Moaning Myrtle burst into anguished sobs and fled from the dungeon. Peeves shot after her, pelting her with mouldy peanuts, yelling, Spotty! Spotty! It's not funny, but it's quite funny.
No, it's not funny, but I can so clearly see Peeves.
Yeah.
Like in like the Oi Myrtle. Like I imagine him as like a cartoon that he can like change his shape like a comical cartoon.
Yeah, I find it quite difficult to envisage him as like a really kind of concrete
real thing
being. Yeah, I feel like
I always imagine like when he says Oi Myrtle that he like puffs out his chest and it gets all big.
I always wish that they had done him with like dodgy early 2000s CGI, because I feel like as much as that would have looked awful, it would have also just made so much sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. Like the bit when Mary Poppins and crew go into the painting and they have the dance with the penguins.
Yeah.
And it's super cringy, but at the same time it's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Peeves is one of the main reasons why I would love Harry Potter to become an animated series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe a while ago we had a question that was like, if you could have one thing in the Harry, you know, in the films that wasn't in the films, I'm pretty sure we both said Peeves, because he's just such great, like,
he's a gem,
comedic relief without it being like awkwardly forced comedic relief, you know.
Yeah, I feel like J.K. Rowling is very good at like comedic timing when you're reading, which is super difficult,
right?
Because everyone reads at different speeds and paces, and also, as you say, like making appropriate jokes that are like, you know, how English jokes are like inappropriate but appropriate in their inappropriateness.
And they also seem, a lot
I
of
feel
them
like
seem
she's
like
really good at that.
the kind of jokes that you would have in like British secondary schools.
Yes, yeah.
It's like almost like everyday, like real life humor a lot of the time.
Yeah.
That kind of like awkwardness and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the worst case scenario happens, and although I feel like, I mean, the Headless Hunt decide to crash Nellie Headlessnick's party. I feel like this is kind of what he wanted, though.
Yeah, I guess, because he says to Harry before, doesn't he, like, oh, you could tell blah 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 that I
guess
am so
he just
good
wanted
and cool.
them to be like his honoured guests rather than come in and like steal the show.
Yes.
As they do.
Yeah.
It says, the horses galloped into the middle of the dance floor and halted, rearing and plunging. A large ghost at the front, whose bearded head was under his arm, blowing the horn, leapt down, lifted his head high in the air so he could see over the crowd. Everyone laughed, and strode over to nearly headless Nick, squashing his head back down on his neck. Nick!
Oh, I really
roared.
don't like that image. Like, I can hear the sound. Sorry.
It's like the sound of in the first movie where he like rips his head off. Nearly headless?
Yeah.
How could you be nearly headless?
Nearly headless.
Like this. Yeah.
Yuck!
And then, because they have come in and just kind of stolen the spotlight from Nick, he tries to distract everyone by giving his speech, but everyone's too distracted by the Headless Hunt, who have started playing headless hockey. Sounds lovely.
I want to see
that. Yeah, forget Muggle Quidditch.
I wonder if they get dizzy.
Huh.
How do they aim to hit the heads if their head is off?
I guess they've just got to like look over and like calculate it from third person view. Yeah, I guess that's part of the challenge, and I guess like the comedy. Yeah.
Yes.
Is that they don't really know. It reminds me of the BBC series Ghosts. There's a character who is like beheaded, and a lot of the gags with him, he's like more of a minor character, is like his head is somewhere else and he's trying to, or like that bit in the second Pirates of the Caribbean where the guy, the
shell guy,
shell guy,
head. Yeah.
Reminds me of that.
And he has to like get his body to find him by listening to his voice, and I'm like, you've got the ears on your head.
Yeah.
So many questions, so little time.
Yeah. Ron then voices his growing impatience with the whole thing. How could you be bored with headless hockey? Anyway.
I know.
Right. I guess maybe it's old news to Ron. He's not a Muggle-born, so nothing's exciting anymore. And Harry, who is also very cold and hungry by this point, says, "Let's go," and they head back up in the hopes of catching the end of the Halloween feast. So that's where I'll leave off, Elizabeth.
Did you want to say about the illustrated edition?
Yes, I did. Thanks for reminding me. Oh, and I also had two things to say, so thanks for reminding. So yeah, no, I just wanted to say the illustrations in Jim Kay's illustrated version of the second book for the Death Day Party are beautiful.
Pleasingly disgusting.
Yeah. His ghosts in general are really gorgeous. They're very colourful.
Yeah.
Which I think is such an interesting kind of take on it.
I'm sure, like, I'm wondering whether this is like, oh, I just imagined it this way, or it's like, no, this is an artistic choice.
Right.
That I did not imagine it this way, but it looks cool.
I imagine that he probably
Which I do often.
Ghosts, yeah. Because ghosts have been done so many times, and it's so easy just to do like a normal person in black and white.
Yeah.
With people around them.
Yeah.
And like backgrounds in colour, and then the person in black and white, But it's all very like washed out, and they kind of look like a little bit sparkly, and it's very cool.
Everything else is like really clear and crisp.
Yes.
And the ghosts are like wishy-washy.
And kind of as realistic as he goes in his illustrations, and then ghosts are very
I love like as well the horse on page 104.
Yes.
That you can see the skeleton
Mm-hmm.
in underneath the horse's body.
Yeah.
So cool.
It's very cool. Yeah, I like it a lot. And then I just wanted to do a little recap and how we feel about this being just completely cut from the movie.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Also,
seeing
I
as
thought it might be...
this is what Potterwatch is all about, that's
yeah.
a good point.
Yeah. I also do want to add, I knew that this was the longest film. I just found out about, I don't know, 20 minutes ago, that this film is 2 hours and 54 minutes, making it longer than Avengers Infinity War, and only 8 minutes...
I can't believe that.
8 minutes shorter than the famously long Avengers Endgame.
I'm in awe. I'm just in awe, in shocked awe of that.
Yeah.
I never remember it being that long.
No.
Maybe it's just because it's so good and time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, exactly. As Lockhart would say.
But maybe that's why, like, a lot of people do say that, oh, I find the Chamber of Secrets film really boring. Maybe that's why.
Because I love the Chamber of Secrets, but only because I love it. But I guess if it felt like 3 hours of time watching a kids movie, I'd be like, this is boring. If I wasn't mad like us.
Yeah. I was thinking it would be like you would say, it's like just over 2 hours.
Or I thought maybe like 2.5. That's kind of the average length of like long films.
Yeah. But like almost 3 hours. That's just hilarious. I can't go with that.
It's quite mad. So yeah, I think the conclusion is they can't have put it in because it would have been over 3 hours.
And this is the perfect one to get rid of because it's like a scene on its own. It's not really that important.
No.
And I'm kind of glad that it's not, because at the time the kind of special effects that they were doing with the ghosts,
that's true.
I don't think it would have looked
good. That's probably one of the reasons they decided not to do it, because that many ghosts in a room. Like, I feel like the first couple of movies they were doing as little as possible with the ghosts.
Yeah, like 1 or 2 passing each other.
Right.
You know, I could imagine that time would have taken
even
like
now,
weeks to do.
That would be a very complicated...
Yes.
Like, so many layers of translucent
how
things.
do you make that look good?
Right, without just being like a massive...
I don't know how. Yeah,
shapes.
Even in these illustrations, you don't have ghosts overlapping each other because it just would look messy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sad that it's not, because it's such a good scene, but I think it only works in your head because it looks good in my head.
Yes. Yes. And also it's, like you said, it's one of those scenes that, besides like introducing Myrtle and kind of having a little bit more to do with Nick, it's not important for the overarching plot of the film, or at all for the overarching plot of like the whole series.
Anything. Yeah. I do quite like the image in my head though of like, just when you walk in, you just can't see anything because it's all translucent. So it's all kind of meshing in together. Like how incredible / terrifying / confusing would that be? To try and navigate through that space.
Without walking through one, because it's established that it's like a horrible experience.
It's so uncomfortable. Yeah, and they're already freezing. Yeah, they should make that like a haunted house or something, like a light show
with, like,
or something.
Projections
I don't know.
And that would be cool.
Yeah. So sad, but understandable,
and probably for the best.
Yes. Yeah. I just I just pressed enter a couple of times because it was annoying me that the E was on the other page.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's fun to have OCD.
Have you seen that video of Khloe Kardashian ordering her
with the biscuits,
with the Oreos, and she's like, some people say OCD is a curse, I say it's a blessing. I'm like, what what are you doing,
Like,
love?
you,
Like,
A, you don't have OCD if you see it as a blessing, but B,
yeah.
that cookie jar is amazing and I want one.
Yeah.
I'm stuck between those two things.
Mm.
And I watched so many close CD videos after seeing that one because I was like, this is just so pleasing.
Yeah, it's like, this is
But
such
yeah,
bad representation, but
yeah,
also
yeah,
enjoyable.
it's like, you know, in Big Bang Theory, Sheldon having cute autism, it's like cute OCD.
Yeah.
That happens so often. Like, cute
Yeah.
OCD is one of the most common misrepresentations of any mental illness.
Yeah, it's like, unless
And
you have
it used to annoy
depression,
me anyway, but
it's,
now that I know I have it, it annoys me even more.
yeah.
Yeah, depression as well. Yeah, it's like, oh, you're just sad.
Well, but
No.
also I feel like it's like, if someone in like TV has depression, it's like, oh yeah, that's so bad. Like any other thing, it's like a bit of a
Oh, I
like
see.
quirky kind of like personality trait more than an
Yes.
illness.
Yeah.
This
I
has
mean,
gone on a whole tangent just from
I know.
the E in the document, but
Yeah.
PSA about mental health.
Representation, mental health representation. Like, great, have fun with it. Like, one of my favorite ones of OCD is, and I know a lot of people will disagree with me with this, but what's her name? Emma in Glee. Because
Oh yeah,
it's obviously a problem for her.
right,
It's
right,
obviously like not fun.
right.
And people do make fun of her for it. And she goes to therapy and she tries to get better and it's bad. But at the same time, they do kind of have an appropriate, in my opinion, lightheartedness about it as well. Because you can't just be sad all the time.
Yeah.
You're trying to, like, Glee is a comedy at the end of the day.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that's one of my favorite
Anyway.
representations.
Nice.
Anywho. Yes, so fixing our Harry Potter script, our Potterwatch script out of the way, let's get on. So this is where we catch up with the film outside of the Death Day party. So in the film, we've gone from Lockhart, detention with Lockhart, and then straight into this. We've just skipped over the Death Day party. And in the film, Harry hears the voice when he's coming back up from detention, and Hermione and Ron, it's never said, they just kind of bump into him, but they kind of say, I think they say like, oh, we were just looking for Harry when he said he wasn't hungry, and that's like a part lie, but I think they were telling the truth about the looking for Harry part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they're supposedly looking for Harry and they bump into him. Obviously in the book, they're with him already. In the book and the movie, they obviously establish that it's only Harry who can hear the voice, and Hermione and Ron are like, you're being crazy, this is weird. And Harry, both in the book and the film, say, oh, I think it's going to kill someone. And it's like one of my least favourite parts in the film. I don't know about you. But he's like, I think it's going to kill. I don't know. I just.
And he starts like running and like moving his hands like along the wall, and the camera's doing that kind of weird like zooming in and like like he's like looking around. I love it.
Yeah.
But because it's
it's
just
kind of
the
cringy,
strangest. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know, but like him being 12 as well just kind of adds
yeah. And it's better when you imagine it from. I was just gonna say, it's better when you imagine it from like Hermione and Ron's point of view, because he obviously like watching it, you're hearing these like weird sounds, but he's just looking around in silence and then going, I think it's going to kill. And then for them, they're just watching their 12-year-old mate like running down the corridor, running his hands along the wall. Like, they, like, no wonder they think they need to like take him to see someone. Like, he must look like a weirdo.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway.
I never thought about it from Hermione Ron's perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I much prefer in the book, he kind of, it says, his stomach lurched. It's going to kill someone, he shouted. And ignoring Ron and Hermione's bewildered faces, he ran up the next flight of steps, blah, 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 blah. So I like that it kind of does I don't know why, but I read it as like a really panicked, like, oh my
Right.
gosh, what do we do? Whereas
Rather than
in
kind
the
of
film, it's
sinister.
like really dramatic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and then they show that charming Gryffindor brave stupidity, and they don't run away from the thing that's going to kill someone, they run towards it. Because 3 12-year-olds definitely know how to defend themselves against a murderer. Although I guess they've done it before. So
Yeah. Yeah. They did, I mean, Mountain Troll, and then they also did
yeah,
literally face the Dark Lord. So
yeah,
I don't know, I'm calling
you
him
know,
the
I
Dark
guess.
Lord as if I'm a follower.
Yeah, that was weird.
It was a bit strange. Oh no, my
I do
cover's
that
blown.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Where's your tattoo?
I
Wipe the makeup
feel
off
like
now.
Dark Lord is just a little bit more like dramatic and fun though.
Yes, yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely said Dark Lord before when I want to be more dramatic. As an aside, speaking of like covering up your dark mark tattoo with makeup, wouldn't it be hilarious to like see a Death Eater like putting on concealer?
Yeah.
I've got a date.
I
I
don't
don't want them to
understand.
know.
Listen, no hate to people who get dark mark tattoos. I don't. I love Harry Potter tattoos. I probably will get one. I don't understand why
Yeah.
you'd go for the like hate group symbol. You know?
Yeah, I think it's because it's like it's a real thing.
Right,
Makes
in
it
that
more real.
universe.
But it's
Right.
like if you
No,
make it more
okay,
real,
that makes sense,
why
I
would you
suppose.
want to be part of that group?
Part of it. Yeah, no, I suppose because I think we've talked about this before of like merchandise and stuff. I prefer
Yes,
like
being real.
socks or whatever that could have been from
Yeah.
the universe. Yeah, okay, that's
Yeah.
understandable, I suppose.
Doesn't Zeno have a tattoo of a Deathly Hallows? Does he? Someone has a tattoo of Deathly Hallows. Is it Grigorovich?
Rings a bell.
No,
Yeah, I
not
feel like it's another.
Grindelwald
I feel like it's the other evil dude. Like the
Anyway.
Deathly Hallows also, I feel like, is a very common choice, but like weird choice.
Yeah, because it's not a good thing.
No, it's either
Like-
it's the symbol adopted by like the other evil dude, or it's
Yes.
kind of like this story of these brothers who were kind of like hunted down by death, and you're kind of not really supposed to put so much importance on it, like the wand
Yeah.
or the cloak or whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
The whole point of the story is not to glorify any of the items.
Yeah, it's like Hallows or Horcruxes. It's like neither, bro. Like, I mean, obviously Horcruxes so we can defeat
Yeah.
Voldemort, but
Horcrux
like,
is Harry. What are
yeah.
you doing?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But I guess in Harry's situation, he's trying to keep it from Voldemort. I think that's part of the motivation.
right. Yeah, no, that's true. But I don't know. Yeah, the idea of someone having a Deathly House, not Death House, the Death Eater, like dark mark. I don't know.
Yeah, I would do the one in the Harry Potter musical when Draco Malfoy. If this homemade dark mark won't convince you, at least hear me out.
It's like really dodgily drawn. Yeah.
Yeah, with a smiley face.
Yeah.
Anyway, right.
Yeah.
Back on track. So,
do you think they went and got cover-ups? Like cover-up tattoos? You know how people get like the Death Eaters, like in Harry Potter?
Oh, after.
I mean, I suppose
over.
they went to.
They're all dead or in Azkaban.
Yeah, but surely there's some who escaped that have gone to like an underground, like dodgy place. So surely someone is like running like a Death Eater dark mark tattoo cover-up business, and then if anyone has a big tattoo on their forearm, they're like a bit suspicious of them because it could be a dark mark cover-up. I don't know. I'm getting very invested in this now. In the Harry Potter tattoo universe. Also, like a tattoo's a thing. Oh my gosh, can you get magical tattoos that are like enchanted to move, like the guy from Moana?
Moving. I want to know whether it like, oh yeah, like Maui. I want to know whether tattoos are kind of like Patronuses, that if you're open to having a tattoo, they just kind of appear when you're emotionally invested in something
I
and
read
then
a
disappear when you're
I
not.
read a really good book. I think it was called thInK. I might have told you about it. This was ages ago. I was like year 8 or something. And I bought it because the cover was pretty. And it was about this town, basically, that their whole culture was like constructed around like tattooing, basically. And there's this whole other kind of like mystery and like thing going on. But basically that's like the premise. And then when you die, you get like, I don't know what the word is, like flayed, and your skin gets turned into a book. So you go and like go through your ancestors, like, so the whole point of the tattoos is to like track your kind of
like
the journey of your life. And yeah, and you have like a big family tree in your back, then you have like jobs and like life experiences and stuff all over your body.
Oh, I kind of love that.
Yeah. And then when you die...
Although I'm terrified of needles, and I'm like, needle phobic people representation, please.
Yeah. And then obviously, like, you know, the main girl like goes and wants to be a tattooer, and like, but there are like names. It's like a fantasy novel, but around the... I can't even remember like how it ends, but it's very good. I would recommend thInK.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well,
anyway, and the cover is beautiful. I literally didn't even read the blurb. I just bought it because the cover was amazing. Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway.
I like it when that kind of buy works out.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Phew. Yeah. I would love for that to be true. If like tattoos were emotional like ones, and that you didn't have to go through really painful process to get one.
Yeah.
And that they didn't fade over time, and that if you
didn't cost money.
Discontinued being emotional, if you discontinued being invested in that thing, the tattoo would just disappear.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Kind of like the like, what's his name in Moana?
Yeah, like Maui.
Yeah.
And the tapestry here on my skin is a map of the victories I win. Look where I've been, and I make everything happen. Anyway, sorry. Okay, right. I'm going to move on now.
How has he come up twice already? Anyway. Yeah, no, let's.
I'm going to move on.
We've been on this topic for too long. And it's not even related to anything in this.
No.
Like, what? I don't even know how.
This is a huge tangent.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have no idea what we were. I don't even know where we are now.
No. Okay. So they're running away. They're running towards. Sorry.
Yes.
They're not running away. They're running towards. They're running towards the murderous voice.
Yeah.
Really smart. Good decision making.
Oh, it's because I said Dark Lord. Okay. Anyway. Continue.
Yes.
Cool. All right.
So in the movie, when they start walking in the water, you can like hear the splashes, and it's all like, I don't know why, but I find this really satisfying, like to hear like the splash, splash, splash of their feet. Anyway, the slap of their feet on the floor, and they all kind of walk just normally in the film, very confidently. But in the book, Harry almost slips over, and Hermione and Ron have to like catch him. I don't know why that was so important for me to write down. It's not really a major change, but I just find it interesting. I don't know that the movies didn't think about like they're running and it's slippy. I guess because it's like Harry's the hero and he has to look cool.
Yeah.
In the movie, they see a line of spiders, the spider, escaping the castle, which doesn't happen in the book at all. And I kind of, I don't know, I kind of like that. I kind of like that.
It's like a little breadcrumb trail that leads up to it.
Like, the spiders, Although I wish it wasn't such a thick line.
No, I see what you mean. Yeah.
It was like a little bit more like sparse, like
normal.
2 or 3.
Right.
Yeah.
I
feel like even in that massive castle, there wouldn't be such an enormous amount of like spiders running at that specific moment. Yeah. And then they're running out of a hole in the window. That's awfully convenient that the hole is in the window on that specific scene. Anyway, I'm thinking too much about it.
Sometimes they just need a plot device, Elizabeth. Like,
yeah.
sometimes you just...
I'm sorry. Apologies. In the movie, they notice the water first and then see the writing. This makes me laugh. They see the writing in the reflection of the water, and then they're like, "Oh, look, there's writing on the wall." Like, how would you not? How would you not notice?
I
bloody
like it as
writing?
a kind of like reveal,
Yes,
though.
it's a great visual. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I have a little fun fact about that.
Nice.
And I hope it's not in your Marauders map, because that would be awkward. But it's not really about the location, it's about how they did it.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So I thought that they would have just like done it in like a panel and then stuck the panel onto the wall.
Right.
Or in CGI or something. But they made a massive, like almost tapestry of the whole wall, and they hung that in front of the wall. And they like painted in the shadows and everything. So yeah, it's actually you're actually looking at a painting in that scene. The whole wall is a painting. Yep. R.I.P. art department.
Yeah.
Because I went there. I went to that location, and I'm not going to mention it because you're going to mention it. But I went there recently, and that's what they said. Yeah.
I'm just going to Google it.
So yeah, go ahead. I'll carry on.
Just the look of it, yeah.
Yeah. So that's how they reveal the writing on the wall in the film, is through the water, whereas in the book it's pointed out like straight away before anything else, that there's, quote, something shining on the wall ahead, close quote. And then I watched that scene, and I just couldn't tell that it was a hanging picture. It's really cool. Movie magic moment. I love movie magic.
Hang on. Sorry, how do they do the different angles? Do they have like multiple? Do they have multiple tapestries, like hangings?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
I have no idea. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, this is incredible.
Yeah.
New knowledge
it
for
blew
me.
my mind. I think, did they even have other angles? Yeah, surely they did.
I think so, because it's kind of like in the background of a lot of shot, or maybe it was enough that you just couldn't really notice because they had that one main. Well, I'm just thinking of like the main shot of it, and then like them all looking at it. So no.
Yeah, I think it was just I think it's just straight on shots. Anyway. In the movie, the trio only just discover Mrs. Norris hanging by her tail while you hear like students thundering up from the feast, that their like feet thundering on the floor. But in the book, they have a little bit more time. Ron is like, "Let's get out of here," but Harry wants to stay and try and help Mrs. Norris. And then Ron wisely says that they really don't want to be found in that kind of situation, and then the students start to come. This is the age old, well, not age old because Harry Potter isn't age old, but this is very common like joke slash plot hole slash question in the Harry Potter fandom is why are the Slytherins there? Why? Because they're coming up, they need to go down. So that's interesting, but yeah, it's just probably one of those things. And then Draco says his line, and it's straight from the book: "Enemies of the air, beware! You'll be next, mudbloods." I hope I did that.
Great impression.
Well, thanks. I particularly like, though, the description of Malfoy's face in the book, although I think Tom Felton did an amazing job with that line. It's a great line. This is a great description, because it just shows just how deranged slash deluded slash evil Draco Malfoy really is. Says, "It was Draco Malfoy. He had pushed to the front of the crowd, his cold eyes alive, his usually bloodless face flushed as he grinned at the sight of the hanging immobile cat."
Ooh.
And that's the end of the chapter. Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about Draco Malfoy on a Harry Potter Facebook group that I'm part of recently, and it seems like most people are actually sympathetic towards Draco because most people are like, well, he literally was indoctrinated into a cult since the day he was born.
Yeah.
Like, and it's one of the worst cults ever thought up by any author. Like, they literally, this guy will kill you if you do anything wrong.
Yeah.
Or kill your family, or torture your family. So, like, what?
What else
Like,
was he gonna do?
yeah, exactly. What was he like? He's the only heir as well.
Yeah. It just reminds me of Regulus Black. I am a Regulus Black obsessor. I
Yes.
love
Yeah.
him.
It just goes to show how special Regulus and Sirius were.
Yes.
That they had like friends. I think the key was that Sirius had friends who were Gryffindor, although he was like that for a long time
Right.
beforehand.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that took him a while to kind of figure out that
Right.
he didn't agree with his family. But then like Regulus kind of questioning things when Sirius was really, really quite Gryffindory / non-Death Eatery. But I think as well, what you have to think about is that Sirius and Regulus were most likely in a not very healthy family environment, whereas Mount Draco is in a very healthy, almost to the point of being unhealthy family dynamic. Like he's spoiled, but not of love. He's spoiled
Yeah.
of material
Yeah.
things,
Yeah.
and that's almost worse. Like that's just the worst. Anyway, sorry, but like I just find Draco very interesting. Really interesting. Someone in his position, that's a very unique position to be in. Yep. It's a miracle that he managed to escape at all. Like, I know he probably didn't end up being a very nice person, but it's a miracle that he didn't end up being a very bad person in the very end.
Yeah. I mean, the leader of
Yeah.
said cult dies, so I mean, he kind of,
Yes.
you know.
He has no reason to be in it anymore,
Right.
or believe in it anymore. But yeah. Anyway, sorry about that. I don't know. I find that description very interesting. That he's so alive by this
Right.
image of this
Right.
cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
You always hear him like being very pale and very sullen and stern, but he's like almost gleeful about
How
this
aware of
horrible turn
what's
of
going on do
events.
you think he is? Because obviously it's his dad that kind of sets it all off.
I think he likes to think that he's very aware, but he's not actually aware at all.
Right.
Does that make sense?
So you think he's kind of aware that his dad's doing something to do with, like, with the Dark Lord or kind of
it's like my
pure
mum
blood
said.
supremacy.
Yeah, it's like my mum said in our Draco Malfoy special episode. Spawn, go watch it. She was like, she said, oh, I feel like it's like a don't tell everyone how wonderful we are kind of secret. Like, oh, I know my father is up to something amazing. But I don't know what it is. Because he says, like, doesn't he, that he doesn't know who's behind it. He doesn't know who the heir of Slytherin is.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
He's a very interesting antagonist to have. Non-antagonist antagonist.
Right.
Just an unfortunate byproduct of the antagonist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I guess I will. Sorry, I was just like, Lucy, introduce the models map, but that's my job.
Yeah, come on. Give me my my
your grand entrance.
my vocabulary is not having it today.
Give it up for Lucy. Woo, with the
Hey.
Marauders map. Woo.
Woo, woo.
Mischief managed.
I
solemnly swear that I am up to no good.
Okie dokie. So, the only I was looking for a while to try and find some locations. The only place I could really find was that scene where the trio find Mrs. Morris was filmed in the cloisters of Gloucester Cathedral.
So good.
And
go there.
as Elizabeth has
there.
said,
it's the best.
She's been there. And
it's my first time, and it's also in a couple of other scenes later on, and it's so good. Anyway.
And the words, the words are written.
the bloody message.
Yeah, the message, the bloody message. The words are written at the west end of not the west end, but the west end of the North Corridor, in the cloisters. And then I have just a couple of fun facts about the cathedral. So my first fun fact is that it has
fun facts.
Thank you. It has a stained glass window containing the earliest images of golf.
Oh.
Which dates to around 1350. Well, that was quite
That's
funny.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's such a not boring, but just kind of not domestic.
Why would you make a stained glass window?
Yeah. That I didn't think that there was I never thought about the fact that there was a place that was the first depiction.
Yeah.
Of golf.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
think,
hilarious.
Golf surely isn't special enough.
Yeah, the fact it's not the earliest images of golf in a stained glass window. It's the earliest images of golf
ever.
Full stop.
Yeah,
it's in a
cool.
stained glass window. Yeah, mad. And then my second fun fact, also sport themed, is that there is a carved image of people playing a ball game in the cathedral that is believed by some people to be one of the earliest images of medieval football.
Oh, I didn't know that. What I found out there was that they have obviously some religious stained glass windows in those cloisters, and they had to change them in the post. Is it called post edit? Post-production, that's the one, in post-production, to make them look like witches and wizards. So I don't know what they do, but there's a particular one, and I haven't seen images of this or anything, but apparently there's one of Adam and Eve where they take away their halos. So they could just be, because it's very important that in Harry Potter there is no theology, no religion whatsoever.
Right.
Well, I guess it's not important, but it's very clear that there's no religion in the Potterverse.
It's like Muggle students, not Muggle students, but like Muggle-born students bring it in rather than...
It's a Muggle thing. Yeah. Wizards, it's like, well, we know what happens in the afterlife. We've got ghosts. Like...
Yeah.
I found that really amusing that they had to change. Yeah, they had to change from religious imagery. I'm going to try and look it up. Adam and Eve, Gloucester. We tried to look for this particular stained glass window, but me and my husband couldn't find it. Adam and Eve, Gloucester Cathedral, Harry Potter. Oh yeah. I mean, so I can see the actual image, but I can't see what they did to it. It makes me laugh that they even bothered to do anything, because it's like nobody is looking at the windows. Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, that was on one of the like guides. It's one of those great places that is like super proud to be a Harry Potter location. They also did, the film crew covered up one of the electrical, what's it called, outlets that's sticking out on the wall, and they covered it up with like trying to paint over like a wooden box they put on the wall into like stone colors. And the people that own the cathedral, or like look after it, I guess, liked it so much that it's still there. You can still see it. It's still covering up the outlet. I don't think it's an outlet, but it's something like it's a pipe or something electric that wouldn't be there in Harry Potter or in the medieval. Well, not medieval. I always go to medieval when I'm talking about history. In historical times.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was cool, and you can see they had to put like a tank down to put all of the water in, so they didn't damage the floor. It's a super old floor with like gravestones and everything. And you can see the tape that they had to put on the bottom of the tank to stick it to the floor to make sure it didn't move. You can still see the marks that made on the floor, which is hilarious.
Yeah, they protected it, and then the thing that was protecting
and
it
then they
damaged it.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
But yeah, those are all the fun facts that I have.
Nice.
But it's well worth a visit.
Yeah. Sounds cool.
Yeah, especially because it's been in the 6th film as well.
Yeah.
But I won't say where, because obviously. And the first.
1, 2,
okay. Just when they're just walking.
I assume so. I can find exactly where real quick if you want me to.
I'm sure you've mentioned it before.
Probably, although it's probably one of those things where I mentioned it where I'm like, some of the places they use for Hogwarts are this. I can tell you slightly more exact.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like in the cloisters there's like a little electric info panel thing that you can flick through, and they've got a whole Harry Potter section on like, here are all of the things that you can find, and here are the pictures of the film, like, and you can go and compare it. It's great. It's a great place.
Yeah, sounds good. So in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, it's where the troll who smashes up the girls' toilets walks, and it's also along the south side that Harry and Ron realise that Hermione is in danger. So it's basically the troll scene outside of the bathroom is also at Gloucester Cathedral.
Oh yes. Oh yeah, I should have known that, because I got Roman to take so many pictures of me in like Harry Potter poses. And that was one of the poses that I took of like
as the
hiding.
Oh.
No.
Okay, yeah.
Thanks for that. Yeah, of hiding. I just looked up the Adam and Eve thing, and apparently they were given clothing and little Harry Potter lightning bolts on their heads.
That's amazing.
But that's not confirmed. Like it says in the article, according to the BBC. So it's not. It's like
it's like news, passing on news from other news outlets.
Yeah. But I would love for that to be true. That would be amazing.
Nice. All right. Well, if that's all I've got to say about Gloucester Cathedral, then I think that concludes this episode of Potterwatch from page to screen.
Keep twiddling those dials. Keep each other safe. Keep faith. Good night.